Hello, and welcome to Shatter Our Souls with Novaria. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've been here before, you know what you're up against. Well, today we are tackling the Special Cup from Mario Kart Double Dash without using items on 50cc. Now, this is the second last of the 50cc races challenges for the itemless run. The last being the All Cup Tour. And all things considered, I personally think that this is going to be pretty reasonable. 50cc to this point has shown to be pretty overall okay. Nothing really comes and is groundbreaking, so to speak, but it is a nice warm-up for what is coming in the future. Like that. Anywho, what I find interesting about the Big N and their video game design actually comes down to innovation. Innovation is hard to pin down. Every single game that the Big N makes tries to improve on anything made prior. If you look at Mario Kart, there are 8 games, and there's always something new. Be it vehicle customization in Mario Kart 7, anti-gravity in Mario Kart 8, two characters in Double Dash, battle mode, heck, even using motion controls for the Nintendo Wii, all of which are intended to make sure the player has something new to look forward to in each game. This is something that I don't think is lost on many people, but it is something that I believe defines that company's entire brand. Anywho, that's my 2 cents. Why do I bring up the innovation aspect, however? And it comes down to this. Mario Kart Double Dash was both the first game in the franchise to offer true 3D, as Mario Kart 64 had a pseudo 3D and multiple 2D character sprites. This is bona fide true 3D down to the letter. But they also went ahead and tried to show off a little bit by also introducing the weight class mechanic with multiple vehicles, which was brand new to the franchise at that time, as well as 2 drivers which allowed for easier access to multiplayer. On top of that, if my understanding is accurate, this is also the first game in the franchise to house a battle mode. So we've got, 4 major innovations and changes to the franchise in the span of 1 game. And I think that really shows a lot of growth within their development cycle. Couple that with courses like Wario's Coliseum here, which is my absolute favorite course in this entire batch of tracks. But it also showcases more than just, simple here and there mild information. It also showcases just how much further they've come in terms of spatial awareness and just developing a video game world in general. So, why I bring these aspects up is because I truly believe that the best way to understand the future of gaming is to look at the past. Everything has been cyclical in nature. Oh, there it goes. Oh, Mario Bros. Didn't fall off the cliff that time. Well, that's a shame. We gotta fix that. Everything is cyclical in nature. If you look at things such as fashion, stuff from the 70s and 80s is back in style now after 1 to 2 generations of it being gone. And so on and so forth. gaming is probably going to follow a similar trend as well, where we've gone so heavily into realism and the last console or two worth of content, that we're going to end up um, going back to more wacky worlds in the near future, I think. Stuff like Ratchet and Clank, stuff like Sly Cooper, old school Mario, and even stuff like inspired by original Zeldas. I can see all of gaming kind of leaning back in that direction in a length of time. But the issue is that we are also at the mercy of what gamers want. And that's a really tough question to answer. We as gamers are very fickle. And as a result, gamers tend to have kind of two very opposing ideologies. One is all about innovation. They want to see the games grow and change over time. And the other is realism. And while we all claim that we want something innovative, something new, the ones that sell are the realistic, kind of edgy gaming that kind of popped up in the early 2000s. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm simply stating it as what we have come across to this point in time. Anywho, that is now Dino Jungle complete. And we're getting into one of my favorite tracks, Bowser's Castle. Bowser's Castle is... If there was a course that fit the mold for what I personally enjoyed about Mario Kart, this is it. Wario's Coliseum is complex. It has multiple hairpin turns, missing barriers, spinning wheels, you name it. This has traps. You have the thwomps slamming through the first hallway, lava bubble pits. You have the spinning wheel of flames. You have the giant Bowser statue spitting fire at the players while on the track. And it all blends so well together as being a racing video game interpretation of what Bowser's castles have been since day one. The magma pools, the lava bubbles popping up, even just having Bowser spit fire at them as a boss. Hey, that was rude, Peach. Sending me off a cliff. What do you... Why? Anywho, the fire-spitting Bowser statue is even a callback to the old style Bowser's Castle, where Bowser himself spat fireballs at the player over time as well. So, honestly speaking, this is, in my opinion, one of the most faithful interpretations of what a Bowser's Castle could be, in a genre that Bowser's Castle theoretically shouldn't work in. And that's kind of the beauty of Mario Kart, is that if you were to break down the genre of racing games, prior to, of course, like GameCube era, you had some that were like Cruisin' USA or Cruisin' World. You had games like Forza and Need for Speed, which were very realistic leaning games. And then you have Mario Kart. Mario Kart's entire identity at the time was, this is not your standard run-of-the-mill racing game. This is a game that is meant to be fun, party-centric, and a little bit chaotic, let's be real. But it was always meant to be something more open-minded? about what a racing game should be. Kart racers were more or less defined by Mario Kart. And even Crash Bandicoot and the Sonic racing games took inspiration from Mario Kart. So I believe in many ways that Mario Kart really it reinvented the wheel as far as video games and racing games go. But that all being said, reinventing the wheel is pretty simplistic. Oh, no, it's not. Reinventing the wheel, especially in the way that Mario Kart did, was I'm not letting Peach take advantage of that again. Um, Reinventing the wheel is something that the company as a whole has wanted to do with all genres since day one. And so seeing it done flawlessly in Double Dash, I think, is a testament to their creative visions. Anywho, that's enough patting them on the back. Let's take a quick detour to the next track, that being Rainbow Road. If ever there was a Rainbow Road that defined Rainbow Roads, it would probably be Mario Kart 64. But this would be a close second. This is what kind of inspires what I call the modern Rainbow Road. Every Rainbow Road has been wildly different from the last, but they all take kind of two basic principles into account. The first is that it has to be a road made of rainbows. I think that's pretty open-minded. Nobody's going to refute that. The second is that it's supposed to have challenges and make the player regret making spur-of-the-moment decisions. This is a track series about knowing your goal and about knowing the exact layout and avoiding any and all obstacles. If you oops, you're gonna feel it. And that's one of the main issues with a Rainbow Road style. But I argue that that's kind of the point. There's no more playing it safe for Mario at this point. There has to be some level of over-the-top innovation, over-the-top creativity. And Rainbow Road is their opportunity to showcase what they can do with it. A good example of it is if you look at, I believe it's Mario Kart 7's Rainbow Road, which has the players driving over the rings of Saturn, on the moon, and it showcases a large portion of their creative design and how over time they've grown to incorporate more details that wouldn't work in a different genre almost entirely. And again, you gotta love it for it. Because there's no playing it safe. The risk equals reward with this track. And so what you end up with is a track where the smallest mistake will send you careening off the edge, and congratulations, once you're off the edge, you've potentially lost the race, at least in a competitive sense. In 50cc, as you can tell with Mario and Luigi lagging way behind, that's not much of the case. But in later difficulties, that can be a make or break situation. But more than all of that, Mario Kart Double Dash and Rainbow Road Peach! Rainbow Road also has... It showcases more of a... I don't want to call it a unique mindset. I would like to say that it showcases more about how confident the player or the creators were in the player. Because to be able to make a course like this with the entire intent being this is going to mess you up, and having the confidence that your player will come back to is a very different mentality from what a lot of later game design became. And admittedly, sometimes game design is based around trying to make a video game beatable when people like myself, who don't understand that games have certain aspects put in them for a reason. Hey, Peach, knock it off. So certain players like myself who try to challenge things and break the system, those are the types of people that they are trying to develop around. And that is not an easy task for anyone. Anywho, if you like what you see, drop a like, leave a sub, and we'll catch you next time.